Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at property address 3314 Southeast 85th Avenue here in Portland. Located at the back of the house. I describe everything as if you were in the, well in this case, kind of standing in the driveway or yard facing the front door. You can't really see the house from the street. Anyway, got a 4-inch ABS cleanout back here. Check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Waters are running, we are zeroed out, and off we go. Now we're either going to have a really long line or a fairly short one. I'm not sure which. We are on a flag lot, but we've got a lot of new development just behind the house. Sometimes these lines will shoot to a fence line and hit a main lateral easement type scenario. We have gone through a couple spots with standing water thus far, which we will take a look at on the way out when the line is fully drained. Like a tie-in almost right there. There's a few bellied spots in here. Looks like it's got bellies throughout just about the whole darn thing here. And right now I'm only running a sink, so the standing water we're seeing here is pretty significant. I'm not running a bathtub or anything like that that's going to be massively exaggerating the look of things. Alright, I'm going to see if I can go figure out where we're going here. This turn is... yeah, we're way the heck out there too, 130 feet. Alrighty. Now, it's not a huge wonder why the line is having the gradation issues. So we're 132 feet out right now. Typically, the average line that's this, I mean, this distance out, we're usually pushing, I mean, 5, 6, 7 feet deep. We're 2 foot 11 inches deep here. It's extremely shallow. So I put a little green arrow marking. I can see I'm on a turn here. That the arrow marking might be overly exaggerated. It's hard to see the turn. And we're gonna let this thing drain off a little bit more. But when you're working with depths like that, right now this is a beast of a line. It's not only going up a flag lot, but it's also a wraparound sewer line from a cesspool or septic tank conversion. So just eyeballing it, I mean, we've probably still got dang near another 100 feet of sewer pipe to go here. All right, we're gonna start pulling back in here. Anyway, the reason that depth there is concerning, if you're not familiar with sewer lines, I mean, in an ideal world, when you're grading a line here, and I'm guesstimating thinking we have another 100 feet, we probably have at least another 65 to 75 feet to go, depending on where the main lateral is situated in the street. But, you know, if you were to purpose build a line this long, you know, from inception, new construction, for instance, I mean, you would want that main lateral to be way down there, 10, 12 feet deep, to provide enough room, slope, and grade to grade the line properly without running the risk of bellies like this. So when you only have, I mean, up to that point, 2 foot 11 inches deep to work with, The line here comes out quite shallow. You're probably around 8 to 10 inches deep here. I mean, you're barely got 2 feet of depth to work with thus far to get out to 130 feet. So, I mean, you've got to, if it's even theoretically possible to grade the line properly, you've got to make sure it's installed absolutely expertly to avoid settling with a situation like this. All right, so the line is running up the driveway. You can actually see the patch where the trench was cut in. Like I said, that where I stopped at, that arrow marking is probably overly exaggerated. I'll try and erase some of it just so it doesn't look like it's turning as hard as it is. Anyway, about 3 foot 3 inches deep there, where my camera comes to a stop at, the driveway is sunken significantly. So you've got a shallower depth there, hugely for that reason, that the ground is just sunken. About 3 foot 3 inches deep is where I was there at about 112 feet. Anyway, when it comes to lines like this, the bummer of these things is the tolerances are so tight, at least the way this was installed. In order to correct the grade on these things, you're essentially redoing the entire sewer line. The whole line's dependent upon itself for grade, and when your tolerances are this tight, you don't have any nosedives to go chase down anywhere to earn some grade back. There's not a lot of ways around it, unfortunately. You know, and as it sits right now, I'll see if I have the ability to get beyond where I'm at to see what the rest of the sewer line looks like. But what I would suggest looking into, assuming repairs do occur, which I am recommending here for sure, is there's a townhouse row behind you that may very well have a main lateral going up it. Rerouting may make way more sense to go a different direction if it's possible. All right, about 2 foot 7 inches here. So I'm going to start spreading my depths or my locates out here a little bit. I'll try and pick the most meaningful spots to do them. Anyway, the other thing to look into potentially on this, you know, and it's something you generally have to get approved by the city, but in circumstance like this where the undertaking to redo the line is quite significant, sometimes the city will allow you to put in an ejector system. And when you've already got a sewer line in the ground, it can make for a fairly easy install, because sometimes they can run a 2-inch ejector pipe right up the middle of the line that's already there. So it basically starts acting like conduit. Now we'll see how this thing drains out here all said and done. The span of pipe we're going through right now is not outrageous. This is draining off reasonably well here. Looks like we might have our secondary clean out right there. Alright, that looks like we might have a secondary clean out right off the rear left corner of the home. I'm going to push back out here and find the closest in spot here thus far where the standing water starts at. Okay, so from at minimum, from around 64 feet here to 132 feet, this so far is the main area of standing water. We'll see what it looks like once we pull back past 45 feet. All right, so nothing else here. And right there, about 2 foot 7 inches deep, where the bellying, at least thus far, again, I haven't been back past 45 feet yet. But you'll see an X marking on the left side of the home. That's as you face the front of the house. About halfway up the side, you'll see an X there. The ground is kind of funky. It's hard to paint it. The dust on the top just kind of blows away. This spot, if nothing else, I will leave a marking where it's at. It's right where the gate is, just barely on the back side of the fence gate at the back left corner of the home. The hard part I'm having there is the ground is incredibly compacted and it's just pure gravel. I about need a pickaxe to dig through it. Yeah, so if we're starting to get into more standing water here, what I would suggest at this point, I'm going to be recommending repairs on this thing. You know, by and large, just about out to where we're stopping. Most likely we're going to be seeing issues similar to this beyond where I'm stopped at. So if I can't get that clean out exposed, it would make more sense, honestly, to have a repair company out here to finish the scope that can also provide bids for the line. You need someone out here who just can do the math on it to see if what we're working with here is even feasible and kind of the best solution for it. You know, my 2 cents on it is the whole home ejector systems are not my favorite thing in the world. I've done almost 25,000 sewer scopes in my career so far. There are some wonderful advantages to them. When they function right, they rarely clog because they have grinders in them. There's some nice things about them. The downside is that the power goes out. You need to make sure you have a generator and know how to use it, because if the power goes out, your home is dependent upon that. And there's some things you can do to bolster the system up to help, you know, in a power outage scenario, like putting in an extra large holding tank that provides some leeway. So anyway, I'm just kind of spitballing some options here. You know, if it starts to look like that makes more sense than regrading the line, you know, it's one at least worth exploring. Okay, right here I'm getting about 1 foot 11 inches, 2 feet deep there, where that belly dissipates out. So, and it's a very flat property. I am seeing some depth changes, so this may be the result of just bad compaction more than anything. Sometimes you get a line that goes in where the math was just not even there, where there just simply is not enough depth to grade the line properly. And if you see the debris at the top of the pipe there, that is an indication, and that's grease deposits. That's not like mildew and stuff like that, and toilet paper. That's a sign the line has indeed at least clogged. That doesn't necessarily it's full on backed up all the way into the home, but that's a sign there that the line has indeed clogged and filled up all the way. That's the only way those deposits get there on the top of the sewer line. I'll have to go back and look at the video here just to review the exact foot counts on things, but you know, from about 30 to 41 feet, you've got a belly. You know, on its own there, that belly is not the most outrageous thing in the world. It's the line in totality. When you have lines with tolerances this tight, you know, let's say you've got a 60-foot belly. In a lot of cases, it requires redoing much more pipe than that, unfortunately, to get your grade back. So from 30 to 41 feet, you've got a belly. From about 60 or 65 feet to 132 feet, you've got standing water. All right, and I'll try and show this kind of with the camera here. And you'll see a paint marking. I'm gonna try and write CO on the ground. Otherwise, I'll just draw a big circle on the ground because this dirt's kind of funky to spray on. The top layer of it just blows off. So it's hard to put anything detailed down on the ground. Right as you round this back, this is the back left corner I'm facing right now. If you walked all the way across the back of the house, right as you round the corner there to go up the left side of the home, just barely on the backyard side of the fence gate, you'll see where I've kind of done some digging there. I'm going to see if I can expose that thing. I don't carry tools. You know, I carry a very small shovel. I don't do a lot of digging by nature. This almost needs a pickaxe to dig through it because of how much compacted gravel there is in the dirt. So I'll see if I can expose it. Otherwise, what I would recommend here would be to have a repair company that does sewer scopes come out and finish the remainder of the sewer scope on out to the street so they can get a good assessment of what needs to be done to correct the line and come up with some options on which makes the most sense here to correct the slope and grade of the line. So if it starts to look like, you know, from a cost standpoint, it makes more sense to do something like an ejector line. It is something you have to run past the city. The city does have to approve those. They don't let a pump system go in unless there's not a lot of other options, or the cost starts to becoming so heavy duty that it makes more sense to go that route. So explore both options. Ideally, a gravity fed system is what you want, because they always work whether there's power or not. Anyway, at this juncture here thus far, I'm recommending from 30 to 41 feet. And also 60-ish, 65 feet to 132 feet, the bellies there be corrected. You've got significant standing water in that latter, larger belly there. It's inches of water, lots of debris, and we do have blockage evidence in the line. If for some reason I don't get back out here other than do like a rescope post repair, make sure that when we do that rescope, the line is buried. Don't have an open trench. It's especially important in a line like this where your tolerances are very tight. Your likelihood of bellying out if things aren't done right is fairly high. You want to make sure there's a load on top of the line before you do a scope on it. Otherwise, everything you're looking at is in theory.